It came from.
That's right. It came from. This is part of the show where we search all over the internet to bring you topics that the human factors community is talking about. So if you find any of these answers useful, give us a like or whatever it is, wherever you're watching, to help other people find this content. Okay, let's get into this last one here. Your favorite recommended exercises throughout the design process. I'm going to say this name. I swear to you, this is what it is. It's by Tifa's Titties on the user experience subreddit. What was last week? We were talking about NASA relabeling their sleeves, and now we're talking about okay. So they go on to write, "Hello and good afternoon. I have a question for all of you who have gone through the design process and would love some input. I'm currently a boot camp student who has finished the first phase of my coursework. As I move ahead, I'll be working on some capstone projects to build a portfolio. While doing so, I want to push myself and expose myself to as many different tactics and methods in the design process. I have a fairly strong list of exercises to use as I work, but I wanted to hear from the professionals who have had hands-on experience and may be able to shed some insight. What are some of your favorite design recommended exercises throughout the design process? Barry, what are some of your favorite exercises?
I don't know whether I've got particular favorites, and it sounds such almost a sort of professionally thing to say is I use whatever's appropriate to the task. That's completely not right. I do have things that I'll go, yeah, well, thank you, and quite right too. But no, I think in the grand scheme of things, I do like. I mean, I like a good card sort, but I also love. I like a good focus group is my favorite thing. I like the ability to get all of your because I'm a great believer in sort of the agile, the sort of the scrum approach in things. I like getting both software engineers or in the room and your end users in the room to break down your task analysis piece. And the reason I love it so much is you can sit in there and you get, particularly if you've got your team well prepped, that you can turn around and say, right, how do you do such and such a job? And you'll get one user coming in saying, right, well, we do this, and then if you've set it up right, then somebody else turn around and say, oh, no, that's not how we do it. We do it like this. And you first get that nice bit of discussion there. Then you get the software engineers chipping in saying, oh, but don't you do this? Because this is how this is how we believe in our heads that this was going to happen. If you can generate that sort of discussion, then I feel like you've done your job, and then you can sort of record that down. And so that's the sort. If we can set that up properly, now it's the sort of thing that you can do really well in a room, lots of post-its and all that sort of stuff. That's fab. But I'm still trying to get the same sort of appreciation online, so we can run these sort of things online through Teams, etc. But I still struggle to get the same spark moment. So we've been, using various tools to try and make that work. But I do have a friend as well who's she's really good at the whole card sorting piece, and she's known as the queen of card sort. So whenever you need that sort of thing, you always pull her in onto that project because that's very much her go-to, which I find fascinating. What about you, Nick? What's your piece of choice?
Yeah, I have two that when paired together are extremely powerful, but I'll talk about the first one because I forgot the name of it before the show. I had to look it up. It's a contextual inquiry. Contextual inquiry is when you go out to the site of somebody who's using your product and you get what it actually looks like to use that thing in the context of their environment and their working environment. And so if you think about something like maybe, I don't know, an electrician going out to an electrical relay who's trying to operate on an electrical relay, they're trying to press all these buttons in a very cramped space. You need to know that. You need to know that they have gloves on their hands before they interact with the thing. So you can't make it a capacitive touchscreen. It has to be pressure sensitive touchscreen. You have to do all these things. I'm speaking from experience here. That's actually something I've worked on in the past. Also with the defense industry, you don't know that they're in this very quiet room with this very locked down computer that they're working across two monitors, and they need both monitors up at the same time, but yours is a web-based application that you can't really spread across the two monitors, and sometimes they're different aspect ratios because they use what's available to them and things break. It's all the stuff that you get in these contextual inquiries. And when you pair those with things like usability tests, where you have them do those tasks in the environment in which they're operating, you can really get some great insight. So I'd say those two: contextual inquiry, usability test.